Hello, Trespertine B. Gilmore here, and today I just wanted to come on and talk about successful planning for effective communication between project team members. And what I mean by that is that in the educational field, of course, many people may be aware that it's a collaborative effort for administrators, faculty members, etc., to come together as one big community and put together the necessary curriculum for a class, course, etc. This step, though very vital and needed, it can cause issues because there are different people who have very different backgrounds, very different skill sets, educational levels, and different things like that coming together to in a cohesive manner, trying to figure out one main goal, one main thing out. So these types of situations can turn into in a milder sense, a heated argument, different things if communication is not being effectively established. So these few tips that I have will be beneficial in aiding in any effective communication within the educational field when individuals are attempting to create curriculum. And so, how communication may be effective with faculty and other team members when developing curriculum. And so, as we were just saying, listening is maybe one of the most important things to aid in effective communication. Without active or without effective listening, communication is simply one sided. A lot of people do not listen, they're just simply waiting to respond, different things of that nature. And when these things happen, the person who is receiving the information is not really processing it, not really receiving it because they're simply only thinking about how they're going to respond. So, we want to practice different types of activities and things to kind of limit our needs because it is just human nature for us to think about our responses. So just trying to limit that and just focusing on what the individuals are saying, what learners are saying that they need, focusing on the need of the people versus what your mind is trying to twist and say that's needed. Next step, be relatable. And when I say be relatable, use conversational languages. Especially like right now, it's best to just be direct. If I'm rambling a bit, I do apologize. I do love to talk, but in a setting where it's necessary for effective communication, vital in educational settings when a curriculum is being developed, it's best to just be direct, straight to the point, and use language that everybody within that room or within that space, most likely it's best to use language that everybody will be comprehensive of. Like I was saying earlier, everyone has different educational levels, and it's best to just act as if, as they put it on TV, just use language on a fifth grade level versus using, textbook higher educational vocabulary. We want to keep it simple and direct. Next, these situations need to be seen as opportunities. So many times, especially with people like myself who suffer from functional anxiety and depression, it may be oftentimes where you dread these types of situations that put you with a lot of people who have different backgrounds needing to come to one common goal. However, it should not be dreaded. These are opportunities to get to know people, to get more insight, basically to learn. And in this educational field, it's always good to learn. Now, next, it's always good to be genuine, to be authentic. Basically, we need confidence. Audiences, or not even just audiences, but recipients of information, if you're going to, be delivering a message, you need to be confident in what you're saying, Otherwise, the recipient may be very uncomfortable and they may even just disassociate themselves from the conversation altogether, which is a little bit pointless, right? Even go as far as to outline what you're going to say, outline questions that you want to ask to get that feedback that's needed to move the conversation forward. But all of that is in a structured type of way, and we'll dive more into structure in a little while here. All right. And so, 1 to 2 ways to de escalate a situation when a disagreement occurs. Now, it's always best for us to go into a communication situation under the assumption that there could be possibly a disagreement which occurs. With that assumption already there, it is expected that educators have some form of scripted responses or de escalation scripts to use on students, learners, different things of administrative members, faculty members. Whenever there is an kind of aggressive or just really enticing argument or conversation going on that needs de-escalating, there has to be some type of assumption as well as planning to try to mediate and get that under control as quickly as possible. Of course, responding out of anger is just not it's just not really an option for you as an educator, for you as a collaborative member of the group. So it is always best to just have those planned. Like we said, structure is key, and a part of being structured is having those responses planned for aggressive or disagreements that may arise. And so it's also best to listen. It's best to make sure you're addressing the concern, whatever the concern may be. Don't necessarily put words in anyone's mouth. If someone is acting angrily, don't say you're acting angrily. Just say, I hear passion. I hear a lot of concern there. Let's address it. Just use generalized verbiage and letting the participant know that, hey, I'm here for you. You're wanting A, I'm wanting B, but we're all wanting C to work out. So let's go ahead and let's work as a group to get this handled. It's also best to be confident, calming. Don't show any form of frustration whatsoever. These are just some keys that will really help you to control any type of aggressive participant, party, or involved individual. And make sure that your body language as well as your verbal language is not offensive in any way. And don't be dismissive, like we said again, to the actual concern. Address it and explain yourself through that issue. And yes, those are all some ways. Now, we talked a lot about structure. One of my favorite structured methods is having the problem, solution, and benefit mind frame. So you're going to bring, when you're trying to establish effective communication, it's always good to have that structure, like we said. So you can come from an problem standpoint. What's the problem? Let's address the problem, give a solution for that problem, and then discuss the benefits for the solution. There are some other structured methods that you can use as well, but that one seems to be the easiest for me personally and professionally. These are all very, very good tips, very, very good ways to be effective when communicating, and I hope that this has been helpful. Again, this is Trust for Teen Gilmore, and you have an awesome rest of your day.